Now look at this diagram. The diagram contains a boiler which is filled with the water. This water is boiled by using furnace, in which we use coal or gas as a fuel. As a result, the water will convert in water vapor and will form a steam. This steam is now will pass through a narrow pipe, because if area is less, so pressure will be more. So this pressurized steam will force the turbine to move. As a result, the shaft, that is connected rod between turbine and the generator, will move, and which as a result will able to help the generator to work. Now please remember, electricity is produced by the generator. The main thing is the parts of the generator should be moved, and for which this complete process has been made. Now the left out steam is again go back to the boiler, and again the water will boil and convert in the water vapor. Next topic is pollution that caused by the burning of the fossil fuels. The very first is the burning of the fossil fuels that produce oxides of the sulfur, oxides of nitrogen, which are basically acidic in nature. And when they mix in atmosphere with the water, they result in acid rain. And acid rain that damage the crops, field, aquatic animal. On when acid rain falls on the field, the fertility of the sand soil that gets low, and aquatic animals may die. And they also damage our historical monuments which are made of the marble, for example Taj Mahal. Next, burning of fossil fuel produce large amount of the CO2. Although CO2, carbon dioxide, is not a poisonous gas, but because of the presence of the carbon dioxide, the more amount, the greenhouse effect will be more. That is, the temperature of the earth will be a little more. Now the third, especially when coal that burns, that pollutes the environment by giving some gases, and also by leaving ash. The size of these ash particles is very small, so which pollutes the environment. Next topic is the how to control pollution which is caused by the fossil fuel. Uh, you people know that coal and other fuels, they when they burn, they produce smoke and they pollute the environment. We should try to use those fuels which do not form ashes, or which do not leave residue, and should not be pollute our environment. In this, the very first thing it's written that we use efficient fuel which do not pollute environment, which I told you. For this, our vehicles, all the vehicles, scooter, motorcycle and all, they are fitted with a catalytic converter. They are fitted with catalytic converter, which converts the harmful gases to the harmless gases. Also, there is one element, that is lead, that also earlier in olden days, 10 15 years back, we were getting the leaded petrol. That lead also pollutes our environment. Nowadays we are getting a petrol which are unleaded, that is free from lead. Next, use of the scrubbers in thermal power plant. In thermal power plant, we use burn coal to produce the electricity. On burning of coal, small amount of the ash and small particles and the few gases are also released. So scrubber is basically a tank in which they throw the water on that on the gas which is released, so that the particle of the small size stick with the water and they fall down before that gas reaches to the chimney. Next, we also use electrostatic precipitator in thermal power plant, so that again the small particles, very small particle which pollute our environment, should not disturb. Now, one more thing, that in industries, there are so many industries nowadays. We use coal in that one. So there also we try to use a good quantity of the fuel which do not pollute our environment. With this, my lecture is over. Now please Please, you have to solve exercise, next exercise, which is given from the page number 130 to 130.